Hey guys, time for another Nomad Sculpt tutorial. I've been meaning for a long time to get into more detailed tutorials for how I do different flexi joints for my flexi creatures that I 3D print. And so I'm going to start a little series going through all of those, each of those joint types in a little more detail, kind of showing y'all how they look in practice on a flexi and explaining in more in depth as I go through how I make those different joints in Nomad Sculpt. So hopefully this is helpful to y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. So today I'm going to go over how I do hinge joints, which is a super popular joint that I use a lot with my legs, arms, paws, wings, and anything a little more mechanical where I want that really straight, smooth, just turn like this. I'm going to show y'all at the end of the video some of my models that use this type of joint. But first I'm going to go over how I put that together and what's the easiest way to put it together in my brain. So first we're going to toss that sphere. We're going to add a cylinder. Let's snap it 90 degrees so that it's easier to see like that. We're going to clone it, pull that to the side, thin that out. So then put it where we have like a little gap between those two. And then we'll go and we will mirror these. So then we have two on each side, equal distances. Then we're going to hide these cylinders for a second. We're going to grab this one that we have not validated yet. We're going to do hole. We can punch a hole through it right there. You can adjust the hole that we just punched through there by going to those little dots, going to the cylinder hole in radius. You can adjust that to make that cylinder as thick as we want for the hinge. And then we're going to put these back. Then we'll lower the opacity of that so we can see what we're doing through here. Going to add another cylinder. We're going to snap that 90 degrees and make it smaller. So then we want to fit it inside that hole there. So make it so that you have a little bit of wiggle room, but not too much to where it's all flimsy. And then just grab this, stretch it to where it stretches across to touch these two. So then, like, we'll lower the opacity on these. You have these cylinders on either side with the hollow cylinder wrapped around that tube that is going to connect those two. And then from here you can add your different body parts that you want to add. Like, let's say we add a box, and this box is going to connect just to that cylinder, to that hinge right there. Let's lower that. And then we have that. And then let's say we want validate over there. And then we have these body parts here that are going to connect over there. And then we'll make room, because we want to make sure we have room for that hinge to swivel in through there with a gap there. So then what this looks like in practicality is something like this, where this is a pretty loose one, but you have our two bars, the bar that goes through the middle, and our hollow bar in the middle there connected to our outer plates, and then that wiggle room tolerance in there for that movement. So I'm going to show y'all a couple more pretty examples of how this kind of hinge works. So here you see the same hinge joint on this wing. And so you got our hollow cylinder with the ball through it and the two anchors on either side, and then making sure you have the space between your two body segments. So, and it gives you a lot of really nice movement if you just want it movement in that linear direction. And these are other examples of that same type of hinge joint, just a little bit different. This one is a little bit more squished. You have just a tiny bit of anchors on the side here, where mostly you have that leg sticking out of the hinge there. And same with both their elbows here, and his paws are that same hinge joint. So we get that really nice structured movement up and down. And it's a pretty solid, easy hinge to print. So hopefully that is helpful to y'all, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.